Good morning. In a relatively volatile session on Friday, the markets ended the day on a relatively positive note, despite weak set of results posted by TCS and HCL Tech. TCS posted a sequential drop in its profit over the June quarter, while HCL Tech results were below expectations. Both the valuations of the companies have been questioned after the results. The CNX IT index was the major sectoral loser on Friday, which fell by around 3.8%. FIs were once again sellers in the cash market segment, where they sold goods of around 1430 crore. Nifty, however, ended the day on a marginally positive note, up by 0.4%. The US markets ended the day on a positive note over the weekend on announcement of strong set of numbers by General Electric, Morgan Stanley, and Honeywell. This brought a rebound in the US markets, which ended the day around 1% of each. The European markets also ended the day on a relatively strong note after being in the oversold zone for about the last fortnight. DAX, CAC, and Nikkei 225 all surged in over 3%. Coming to some news for today's session. The BJP government has had a clean sweep in the assembly elections in Maharashtra and Haryana, which will be a positive for today's market. This will increase the number of seats in the Rajya Sabha, where major reforms are expected to be passed on in the upcoming few quarters. Secondly, the government deregulated the prices of diesel over the weekend and has now linked it to the market prices. Also, it has approved the gas pricing formula on Saturday, where the gas prices have now been increased to $5.61 per million British thermal units. This is, however, still lower than the $8.2 per barrel billion British thermal units passed on by the Rangarajan Committee. This will be a major positive for stocks like ONGC, which whose under recoveries have been largely recovered under diesel. Diesel accounts for nearly 55% of its overall under recoveries. The Asian markets are traded in a relatively positive zone in the early morning trade, with the Singapore Nifty being up by around 120 points. Indian markets are expected to be positive for today's session. Major resistance and support levels for Sensex comes around the level of 26353 and 26027 levels, while major resistance and support levels for Nifty comes around the level of 7872 and 7752 levels. Thank you very much and happy investing.